got 20 minutes anyway until like the actual game, and I've got maybe 10 until I want to do.
Alright.
Gorse said it.
Who?
Oh, okay.
She also got broken.
I know, why is she
Yeah,
like that?
why is she?
She's not played it, right? She's only in school, right?
She's in 2, yeah. She's not pro. Outside. See, it's so rogue that, unless Josh. It's so rogue that Pete just invite everyone in the club on sponge. So I don't know, like, it could be such a random people turn up.
Lauren, just the ones to watch for reference. We got True, which is the blonde libero.
Yeah.
And then Holly.
Okay.
We'll start with Holly. So
Okay.
I'll just guess basically.
You can talk about her middle dash starting.
Thrown up guard. Leeds want to set a guard of honour up for it to come through.
Okay.
All the game starts.
I'll get Lauren on that. Yeah. What, guard of honour for Durham or guard of honour for
Durham?
Nice.
They're going to come from that corner over there where Yvonne's at.
Yep.
Through between those two Super League lines.
Yep, sounds good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just. Okay, that's fine. God of Horror.
What's going on?
No, that helps me massively because now Lauren knows as well. She was the camera.
I think it's just like. I think it's just like a wall. Like do like cheering maybe. Maybe because they won the league? Question mark.
Yeah.
Like you know that thing that they do in the Premier League when they like clap when like if they really That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
I thought we were gonna do one for Leeds, and I was like, why not? So the only Brit on that team is number 14.
Natasha?
Yeah.
I think I know her from. She's friend of Sonny.
Yeah, she was at Cambridge, I think.
She good? She's quite tall actually.
She's quite tall. But again, like maybe the pace better because again, it's the bench.
Yeah.
But their bench is still getting crap. So.
This is such a cherry.
Huh? That's a woman's time.
Yeah.
What, Leeds are they playing?
Yorkshire, I think. Yeah, so I'm married. So yeah. They're all taking advice from me.
Where's the rest of the time?
Rest of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like.
Where are they?
Maybe they're just chilling in Canada. Really randomly, we start shouting dad stuff.
You?
No, like it's just like a team. When we go into a team like huddle or something, they're just like.
Lauren, I'm really whenever you are as well.
Hi. Hello.
Sure. Hey. How you doing, mate?
Am I following the players?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Gorse Academy. My name is JC. Sadly, there is no Michael Hanson-Morris this weekend, so you are stuck with me, and I'm alongside Leeds Gorse player Josh Cosgrove.
Hey guys.
So Josh, we've got a big game today for you especially. How are you looking at with the girls, if we start off with that?
I think the girls, they play the best when they're most like relaxed. And I think today, like looking at the warm-up already, they look a bit like relaxed. Like, they look like they're just here to have fun, which is like a great start, I think, to a game, especially when you're playing such like a strong side.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, you mentioned that really strong side in Durham. They could today go unbeaten for the whole regular season. As a player, is that something you have always kind of aspired to as well, having that flawless season, being an invincible?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think that's obviously the main goal, really. At the end of the day, like going the league and not losing a game is like really big statement to show everyone like you're the best.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come on to the game in a little bit, but just starting off with you, Josh. Obviously, last weekend, having a bit of a busy week, playing in the under-18 Super 6, getting a golden ticket for another year. How did you find that weekend?
Yeah, I think the weekend was like really good itself. We've obviously prepared like a lot for the weekend, and playing like high-pressure matches like in Super League obviously helps a lot because it makes under-18 seem a bit, I don't know, like easier, kind of. But yeah, the same with the girls as well. Like we've been preparing a lot, and I think the weekend was just a positive overall for Leeds. Both teams getting through to like the finals.
Yeah, you mentioned that there. Is it helpful then with the girls being kind of as competitive as you, going for those golden tickets? And I know I've been at a lot of the Super Series throughout this year, and the support from both teams is always great. If you're not playing, you're always sat watching, and it's vice versa. Does that help you guys kind of gel as a group, but also kind of improve the quality of the team?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it definitely does improve us, and we train like on a Tuesday. We train at like the same time, so like it helps to like gel as like a club as well as like just separate teams. And when getting support from the girls, like it makes us like get a bit more like fired up. And the same with the girls too. Like we like to support each other.
Yeah, I definitely see that, and I think that's one of the great things. Obviously, this year moving to Loughborough with Volleyball England, and then the bit of the Super Series having a bit more focus on it. How have you found that Super Series kind of improvement over the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I think it's been a really strong improvement like with the team, and the team like last year for Super Series were like we did get like demoted, but it was tactical. But like this year has obviously been a much stronger season for us, being able to like play in Super League and everything. And yeah, we've like I think both teams have like improved like each Super Series from like the start. And like sometimes in the first Super Series there'd be like a few highlights that were good as a team, and then by the end it was like most points were like really strong like highlights as a team.
Yeah, I think especially like we spoke about, we use Huddle and everything like that, and I know I always see you tagging us on socials of all the kind of highlights that you've been doing, Max as well, a few of the others. Do you think that helps you in that kind of a progression as well of the sport? And we've seen that big improvement with junior sport.
Yeah, definitely. I think being able to like the collabs and stuff that they do between like Volleyball England and the players is definitely something like people aim for like in juniors, and I think it's really good to help like develop confidence as well. Like I don't know, it makes you feel like nice if you get posted by Volleyball England. You know, like all the juniors like aspire to be like that. So.
Yeah, I remember I always, and you do the same, whenever I'm at an event, you always come up to me and go, oh, did you get that clip?
Yeah,
did you get that clip? And I think that's something that obviously massively beneficial with social media, but I think it shows that you guys it's worth you putting the time in as well. You don't just want to win golden tickets, you want to get yourself out there a little bit more. Obviously, for yourself, kind of looking to the future, what have you got planned?
Well, I'm not. I think for uni-wise, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like Uni of Leeds if I get in. I need like. I've got like 2 of the grades already, but the other one I can definitely get like. So I'll probably go to like Leeds Uni, and then if not, my backup option is I would say Leeds Beckett, because I don't know, there's something about like Leeds and the Roof Gorse that I don't really want to like go away from, and like if we do stay in Super League, then it's obviously really great to play another season in Super League, but there's also an option for like clearing for other unis. So I'm unsure exactly the plan yet, but my main plan would be to stay at the Uni of Leeds probably.
Yeah, I mean, that gives you a load of benefit as well of staying with the Gorse, and you've obviously got a great tight-knit community here. A few of your players aren't graduating yet. Obviously, you've got like E-Man and people like that have got a year or so. And I think that's another great thing, that you've grown up with that team, and you've played with like Max, like people like Max and E-Man and a few others since under 15s, now in under 16s, now in under 18s. And do you think that's helped you in your growth?
Yeah, 100%. I think being able to change like teams and have different players on your team is really good for like experience-wise. But like having the same team throughout the whole time and being able to like train together like multiple times a week and just see each other grow is like the biggest. It's like volleyball's a team sport, obviously, and I think that's the most important part of like having a team. Like you just grow together and see each other like improve together.
Yeah, 100%. So as you can see, players are going into warm-up now, and we're just going to speak here a little bit about Durham. Obviously, a team that you saw a little bit in terms of when you went up and the girls faced them. What do you know about this Durham team? And apart from the kind of big hitters, as we've just seen there with Ali hitting really hard, what do you think it is about this Durham team that made them so good?
I think they are a bit similar to like what I was just talking about a minute ago. Like they seem like they're all quite close with each other and like they've gelled really well together. Being from like I'm pretty sure quite a few are American, so being from different places in America and like places in England too, they've been able to like gel together and become like a really close team, which obviously is going to help like the teamwork a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of them, I think pretty much all of them are international transfers. And I think you've got Natasha Frost, though, in who played for, I want to say, Boswell's last year, which is probably wrong. But yeah, you're just seeing her hitting there. I think it's great that Durham do bring in that kind of calibre of athlete and talent that is really increasing that league. And I think you see that as well now with in the men's side, you've got London Giants, you've got University of Nottingham, Newcastle as well, really coming in and bringing that level up. Do you think that's helped you and maybe helped the girls as well make sure you're playing harder? You mentioned that playing in Super Leagues helped you improve your way in Super Series and under 18s.
Yeah.
Do you think that Super Series experience, that Super League experience, is something that's really beneficial to you?
Yeah, 100%. Like being able to play against just not even if like Durham have some players that are just like really big names. Like they have like Matthew Edwards and Sean McQuiggan and stuff. And like London Giants as well, they have like some really good players. Like the middle, I think he's called Hamza, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's so good. Being able to play against them is like a total next level for like juniors our age, I think, because no one else really gets the chance to be able to, apart from like Leeds, boys and girls.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is just going to have a look at our ones to watch. We've gone for Holly Tempest this weekend. One of the oldest players in the team. In terms of age, but is only 23 as far as I'm aware. And what do you think Holly brings to this girls squad?
Yeah, I think she's a really important role for like the team because you'll be able to see like during the game she's gonna bring everyone up and keep the energy levels high and keep everyone like encouraged throughout the game. Like she does that really well for this team, I think.
Yeah, I think me and Holly spoke at the start of the season in our media day, and she was having a little joke around with saying how she is the oldest in the team and that everyone's calling her granny. But I think I've seen that, and I saw it especially at the side-out game. She really does have that kind of character about her, and it's a bit similar, I guess, with Nelson in your side, where he is that kind of slightly senior figure who's had that bit more experience, obviously playing for Darkstar last year. She's got that experience where she knows that if there's a couple of points that are tough, she can look at Steve, she can have that kind of little kind of subliminal contact with him to maybe call a timeout and just get the girls regrouped. I think that's really great for her, and I know she's struggled with the team in terms of it's been a very tough season coming up against athletes that are 10 years older than them. But I think it's really shown that she is that leadership role. We've gone for the other libero for the Durham side in True. True, one of the big reasons we went for her when me and Michael were talking about this is she had a really big impact in the Bucks final this week on Wednesday against Essex University. She's one of those players that, as what you would expect from a libero, going for every ball, picking up everything, passing really consistently, but also has great energy on the court, and is someone that I noticed during that game at Bucks where it was kind of her bringing up those players and really starting to, when they were down a little bit to Essex, they went, right, let's go, let's reset. And it's one of those people that, again, it's similar to Holly, you want that leadership role in it. So teams are now just coming off from warm-up. Leeds Gorse are going to do a guard of honour for the Durham Palatinates due to them winning the regular season, but also their Bucks championships this week against Essex. just noting on that, the Bucks game was exceptional. Both games were really good in terms of the men's and women's. The trophy finals are also really good. Big shout out and congratulations to Strathclyde University for claiming the men's trophy. Loughborough University with a couple of Volleyball England employees in Shiloh and Kira claiming a gold medal there when they faced the University of Bristol. And then in the men's final, I don't know if you watched it, Josh, did you get a chance?
I did.
Yeah, so you know the story, and if for those at home that don't, a 5-set thriller, University of Nottingham coming out the gates, super speedy, taking the first 2 sets and taking taking Newcastle to just 10 points in the first set, which is incredibly impressive for a Newcastle side that you know as well is a very tough offensive and defensive team. Newcastle coming back in that 3rd and 4th set. And at one point, looking like they had completely switched the momentum. I know, speaking with Coach Sam Shenton after the game, that there were some really big kind of moments in that game. As you can see, here we go, Durham coming out for their guard of honour. Really nice to see from the girls to do that. Really nice gesture. Again, it's a team that have really put in work and have stayed so consistent. I know they've only dropped 6 sets all year. 2 of those sets were coming at opening weekend, and then also the 2 sets they dropped outside of the regular season, which were to side out last week at the National Cup semi-finals. We'll be seeing a lot of Durham in the women's side. As I mentioned, that the National Cup semi, they've made it through. They've got a golden ticket similar to yourself, Josh. So it'll be a busy weekend for them. They'll be facing the MARREE Eagles in the Women's National Cup final. A really, really tough game. Do you see MARREE maybe causing an upset there?
Yeah, I mean, MARREE are also similar to Durham. Like, they're all a very close side, and they're all, like, you can tell they're like friends on outside of volleyball, and yeah, they are a really, really good team. I remember when we went down to London, seeing like MARREE women play was like the next level. Like, it was really, really, really good level. Yeah,
and now we're just about to start off, so we're just going to run through our team. So we've got in number 2, we've got Charlotta McKinska, we've got Lauren Thorne, who is at the back about to serve. We've got a front line of Josh. Do you want to go through that front line for me?
We have Daniela, I think number 11, and then Rejoice in the middle, and then Christina playing opposite.
Perfect.
Number 6.
And then we've also got Holly Tempest in libero as we're off for this game. Chloe Thomas through the middle and taking that first point straight away. We know that Chloe Thomas is going to be that threat for the Leeds defence. How do you think they're going to try and counteract that, taking her out of the game?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, they've got to do their best. Like, I know they like to run combinations, Durham. Like, they do different things. Like, they don't just play like systematic opposite volleyball. Like, she's always running combinations. So I think it's really important for like the middles and outsides to help out when she is hitting.
Yeah, definitely, and it's something that we saw in the Essex game where Chloe was used a lot, as that's a great swing there from Daniela. Really great to get that early point in for Leeds. And it will be Daniela as well going back to serve. Sadly, at the Ruth Gorse Academy, we've just not got that wide enough angle to see that touch, that baseline, but I promise you she is there. Ali Ruffin, nice little roll, good block from Leeds. It's just into the back of the court, just a little bit too far for Leeds to get back into that middle, trying to get that system ball going. And then this is Mariana Payne to serve. One of these players that have come in, you may notice that there's no Nerea Hightower, there's no Ellie Schrader in the middle this week. That's a great back of the court line there from Charlotta. As I was saying, there's no Nerea Hightower, there's no Ellie Schrader. Ellie's injured at the moment, and I believe so is Nerea. So a really tough decision for head coach Paul Welsh in terms of the middle position. But Mariana came in for that Bucks final and has played in the Cup semi as well. A couple of really good moments for her in that game. A really consistent player, and I think has stepped into that role really nicely. Goes back to Charlotta. Good block from Durham. Lauren Thorne. It's just out there.
I think something that Charlotte does really well is she always finds the space and like uses a block, and it's really clear to see like in under 18s as well. She's always finding like the spaces on the court and using the block. It's really helpful to like recycle the ball and get another attack.
Yeah, she's definitely one of those players similar to yourself that's been in the, and that's just an ace there from Chloe. She's one of those players again that's been in the Leeds programme since under 15s. I remember interviewing her when they claimed their first golden ticket under 15s, and I've seen her develop throughout the game, and like you mentioned there, she's really good at recycling that ball, reusing it and trying to get a point off it. Here she comes now. Good touch off the block, good recycle as we just mentioned, and it's a centreline violation there. Durham's one of those teams that I think as well makes them so successful is they just don't stop. I think they're a relentless side, and you see that in their service pressure. It's always hard, as you see there in a soft ace there from Chloe. They're always going to serve hard, they're always going to hit hard no matter who you're playing, and I saw that a lot at the National Cup semi-final against Sideout. They were 2 sets down, and again, speaking to Paul after the game, it was a game where they were like, in the first couple of sets, they had dropped some errors, they'd had a few errors, and they were kind of working out what they were doing wrong. But it was that switch of momentum where they all of a sudden went, okay, we know what we're doing, we can get now, we can just keep going. And I think that's something that's so impressive about this Durham side, that they go through the whole of Bucks and the Super League completely unbeaten and almost unscathed. There's a few games where they've had a couple of tough moments where, obviously when they played Newcastle, had a set taken off them and could have very closely gone to 5. But I think it's just one of those teams that, with that experience, with that knowledge, and with that kind of technique, ability and skill, they're a really hard team to break down no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. From watching them as well, when Leeds played them last time, like they make so like little errors as well, and I think that's really helpful to just keep the momentum and like don't drop level at any point in the game.
It's going out wide. Great swing off the block.
I think she's in middle as well, so that is very impressive. She just sits opposite like that.
Yeah, I think especially if you look across that kind of Durham side, and I think that's impressive where you have those injuries like people like Ellie and Nerea, that people have stepped up, and she is one of those players of in Raylene Jones that has been one of those people that has stepped into that middle position. And then just finding the middle of that, a little bit as a witch's cauldron, as some people will call it. Hard for them just to, everyone kind of looks at each other, that kind of good old Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
And this is our first time out called by Leeds. It's Coach Steve McKeown will take the girls in, have a little chat, talk about what they're doing well. Again, we knew this was going to be a tough game for Leeds. We knew that Durham were not going to let up. We knew that they were going to fight and they want to go that season unbeaten. But I still think it's a great day, like you mentioned. There's been some good opportunities. They've been trying to recycle that ball. It's just trying to handle that strength from Durham.
Yeah, 100%. You can see like what we were talking about, Holly, the libero. She's still always talking, like no matter what the score is, she's always like trying to like push the team on and keep them going.
Yeah, always those high fives, always that good eye contact, that communication, getting those girls back in the zone. Charlotte comes up, swings off the block. Taken by Daniela, and just out. I think that shows the strength of the Leeds girls though as well. Like you see, like they've lost a point, but they're straight back in. Again, you mentioned Holly there, chatting straight away, having those conversations, but also they know that they're going to get points. They're going to still fight for this. As Ali's back to serve. It's a really tough serve there from Ali, coming just straight, tight over the net. A really strong service in her. She's got a 1.92 serve rating for the season, which is really strong, working really hard with that. And I think it's one of those people that, again, coming out of the US, playing for the Citadel Bulldogs out in the US, with a kind of an army background as well. It's a great pick up there from Chloe. Can Leeds get it in? Charlotte to swing. She's just struggling to find those hands, isn't she?
Yeah, you can tell that each time it's so close to getting the point, but it just seems to miss.
Yeah, you can see that she is going for those high hands, and Durham have got some very high hands with such a tall front line.
Yeah.
But it's just maybe she's just struggling to find those fingertips. Again, another really strong serve from Ali there. As a player that kind of, you've probably been in experiences where you've had kind of games where you're in a set and you're maybe 5, 6, 7 points behind. How do you kind of talk to yourself as a player, not just as a team, but also individually? You mentioned that volleyball is a team sport, but there is a lot of kind of personal, mental kind of strength that you've got to have for it.
Yeah, I think it's really important to just never like stop. Like you said about Durham earlier, like they never stop. And I think just making sure your serve goes in and like you keep picking up like the other team's attacks and just stay like positive when you're playing. I think like anything can really happen in a set because it's very long. So like keeping on pushing and just not stopping is gonna like definitely get you close to like coming back or winning the set in the end.
Yeah, so Charlotte comes back in for Olga there for a quick substitution. She's back to serve. Tree picks it up. Then Bullimer out to the side and just finding the side there. Just not being able to press there, but when someone's swinging that high and fast, it's always hard to kind of get that press in, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So Raylene Jones back to serve. One of those players, again, like we mentioned, that hasn't had much court time this year, just with Nerea and Ellie taking that kind of main role. But it starts it off with an ace. It's another ace for the Durham Palatinates there. Again, a side that, like we mentioned, will never stop, will just keep serving at you. And I think one thing that I know, especially from seeing the kind of behind the scenes of huddle and everything like that, that's back-to-back aces there from the Durham side. One thing that I see a lot with kind of the behind the scenes of huddle is you see all the coaches that are making their playlists of who they're targeting and things like that. And it shows that teams are really trying to now identify strengths and weaknesses of each side. And it's hard to kind of pick out those weaknesses from Leeds, as it's a swing off the block. Yeah. And a lovely little swing there from Jefferson there. Again, another player won the set point and the match point in Bucks Champs this weekend on Wednesday. Great swing, great pick up, and well left there by Leeds. Yeah, Jefferson was one of the players that took the championship point. A lovely little line swing, sparking big celebrations from the Durham girls as we go into Leeds with the service. Really strong serve there from Leeds. Great pick up there. Longest rally of the game. Really good work by Leeds here. That's Daniela again, off the hands. Really great rally, and you see there Steve McEwen really encouraging the girls. Those points, what do you think they do for the girls in terms of that momentum builder?
Yeah, 100%. They definitely build momentum like fast. Like being in the men's team as well, having a long rally like that against such like a high level team just fills you with confidence and like belief that you can just keep on getting the points.
Pull them out to Jefferson. A huge swing there, arguably completely undiggable, and that sparks another timeout from Steve as Durham walk into it 19-5 up. In terms of we're talking about preparation there, in terms of your preparation for a game that you're going to be having in an hour and a half, 2 hours time against the Durham side, what have you guys been working on? Maybe not to give away too much in case they're listening, but what have you guys been working on to maybe push that Durham team and claim a playoff position rather than that automatic relegation spot?
Yeah, well, I think the main things is we've just kept the same plan like throughout the whole season, and it's to make sure we're playing with like speed and like focus. Like I think focus is the most important thing within our team because like we are quite like young, and I think if we can just maintain our focus and keep our like skills at the highest level we can, then we have like really have a good chance at bringing on any team like in the league.
Another strong serve there from Durham. Free ball over. Bullimer to the middle. Mariana just out, not able to find that backcourt. So that's a great. There you go, coach's point. Good work by Steve. Does Pete keep tab of coaches' points?
No.
To kind of do a little celebration every time he's
Oh,
called
yeah,
a timeout.
for sure. Like Pete's timing of timeouts is the best I've ever seen. Honestly, he always knows when to get in the other team's head.
Out on the slide, Chloe Thomas there to pick it up. Bullimer out wide to Jefferson. Roll. Thorn over on 2. Bullimer back to Jefferson. And just out again. So a couple of hitting errors now coming in for Durham. Again, trying to go hard, trying to hit hard, trying to find those sidelines, which are always, as you would know, really hard shots to find. But again, I think Durham have got that buffer now of it's 7-19 with Leeds back to serve now. But they don't want to kind of give Leeds that momentum as Lauren just goes into the net, almost trying to roll it over the net tape. And Durham bring up that magic 20, 5 to go.
You can see Durham as well, like this setting has sped up quite a lot since the start, and I think that's why some errors may be coming in, because the setting is so fast to the outside. Sometimes it might not be high enough.
That's an ace from Jefferson, little fist pump. Walks back to serve, hoping to get another one. Again, Jefferson, one of those players that have kind of maybe snuck under the radar when you've got such a high calibre of players, where you've got your Chloe Thomases, you've got your Ali Ruffins, Nerea Hightowers, people that have been kind of leading those leaderboards throughout the year. One of those players that maybe hasn't been noticed as much, but is still as lethal on that offense.
Yeah. 100%.
And there we go. Great pick up from her there. Out to Ali. Finding the hands. Lauren. Out. And what's the ref on here? Calling a touch on that block. Just out.
I think that's the main thing you have to try focus on when the block's that big, like, because Leeds obviously know they can't overpower and reach higher than us, so I think using the block is a really important skill to be able to have, to make sure you're still getting the points.
Yeah, back to serve. Chloe Thomas doing what Chloe Thomas does best, decimating that ball down the line. Just going to chuck a replay up of that. It's one of those players that you really just struggle to defend. You see Holly's there on the line, so you just run through that highlight again. You see Holly's there, stepped onto the line, but maybe a little bit not wide enough, and when Chloe's hitting that hard, it's near impossible to dig those. Has to wait on it. Oh, it's through that seam.
That's a really good set by Lauren as well, to like split the blockers. Like throughout the whole game, she's been setting throughout like outside and things, but that's a really good set to just pull the middle to one side and then make them run all the other way across the court.
Yeah, Lauren's always been one of those. That middle comes through there as well. Lauren's been one of those players, and we highlighted her at opening weekend, is one of those really young, talented English players that we know will continue to develop and has developed throughout the season. And you've probably seen it at Super Series as well, where she's really grown in confidence and she holds herself really well on the court. That's just out. Again, Leeds going for those high hands. Durham maybe just pulling them away a little bit just to make sure that ball's going out as Durham bring up set point here. But yeah, you mentioned that, yeah, really great swing there from Christina with Lauren setting really strongly. I think it shows that that is a great thing that Super League can do. Christina just able to keep it alive. Good work by her. True to Elena. Swings on 2. That's always the threat with a lefty setter. Always have to go for it. And Durham take that first set in quite quick time. Leeds had some nice points. We mentioned that little swing there from Christina. Nice little shot with Lauren working really hard with it. But sadly, yeah, Durham take the first 25-9.
I think this has happened quite regularly, like throughout this season. Like the women's team seems to like not do as good in the first set, but then they seem to like bring themselves up and build their confidence and like perform much better in the sets coming.
Yeah, we definitely noticed that. We were down at Super League Live for the side out versus Leeds game, and it looked like Leeds were kind of cruising to a victory there, and then that third set all of a sudden hit back and almost took the breath away of side out, and it was a really close, tight set that maybe Mark Kontopoulos wasn't expecting, and then all of a sudden it's taken into a fourth. The head space then of the side out girls is maybe then struggling a little bit of, okay, we should be winning this point, we should be winning the next point, and then all of a sudden those momentum swings are really big. obviously that weekend as well, you faced London Giants and took a set off them.
Yeah.
How much of a confidence boost was that for the team?
Oh yeah, I mean it's always great to like take a set or have a really good rally against like one of the top teams in the league, and I think one set as well was like 26-24 as well. Like we came really close another, but it's one of those things where like experience kind of plays a big part because we always get close to taking sets, but we're versing teams with loads more experience than us and loads more confidence than us, so they're probably like most likely going to be able to close out the match like easier than us, I guess.
Yeah, I think especially when you look at a team like Giants, where you look at the calibre of players that are coming in, it is a great experience though for you as a player at such a young age that you can see this is what the standard is in kind of other countries and other federations, and it's very similar here that you've got athletes here that have played in the NCAA that have played at the highest level, and you'll go up against someone that's won a NCAA championship in Matty Edwards later on. But it's those kind of people that I guess when you're digging a ball that's been hit at you far harder than anything else will come at you in kind of a junior competition.
Yeah, 100%.
It kind of gives you that confidence, and you can see that that's made you grow as a team throughout the year. And I know you mentioned that kind of demotion from Super Series being a tactical demotion. But I think that's shown, and that's obviously been backed up by you claiming another golden ticket.
Yeah.
As we've just about to start off in the second set. Couple of rotations out, so Izzy Decker has come in, and so has Natasha Frost as well as Jenna Giambi. With number 28 also coming in to set, with Leeds taking that first point. So great start to Leeds. Maybe, like as you mentioned, Josh, this could be the set that they've got a little bit of momentum now. They've got a little bit of, they're back into the game, and maybe this is where they start to cause some issues. Yeah, Maura Hayes coming into set now. Much taller athlete. Great set there. And Izzy Decker finishing it off. Maura Hayes is a much taller setter than Elena Bullimer. So brings in that kind of height threat of especially working in the block. But I think also, again, played a big part in that Bucks Championship winning side where she came in set for the last set, sorry. Just misses the ceiling. Oh, a bit of miscommunication there. I think this is the thing, though, isn't it? You look at Durham and you see there Chloe kind of shaking her head, but going, okay, cool, next point. We know we've got the next point. We can go for the next point. And I think that's the thing with volleyball is in any game is there's always that next point. You're guaranteed 25. You know that you can try and push for that, and it's always that kind of thing of let's get it out of the head. Let's go. Grid set. Natasha Frost splitting that block. Lovely swing from Natasha. Came into Durham's team this year after finishing her A-levels, as we just watched that back. Great set, and then through that block that just wasn't able to close up quick enough.
I think some players on the Leeds team will have played Natasha Frost before in junior level. I remember, I think maybe in a final or something.
Oh, Lauren Thorne went to go for the pokey, but line judge calls nothing. Unable to see.
That was in. Sorry for me.
Josh is calling in, and Deborah Smart on the first referee call is calling a let. Unable to see, so just going as if that point never happened. It was a great idea from Lauren there, really tight pass, trying to get over the net and just kind of almost pokeyed it. I know we'll talk a little bit about beach in a bit, Josh, because we know you've got a busy summer of beach. So he's swinging through that block again, just Leeds unable to close that block up a little bit. Chloe finding the gap with Mariana walking back to serve. Just want to say a really big shout out to Leeds and Pete and everyone at the Ruth Gorse Academy for allowing us to come along on this last day of the season. It was a very kind of impromptu Super League Live, which is partially why I'm commentating. But also, really big shout out to Pete for allowing us to come along, capture these last couple of games of the year before we go into the kind of playoff phase of the season. Obviously, we'll talk about it a little bit, Josh, but a really big game for Leeds and Durham men later on at 2:30, where the winner will be guaranteed a playoff spot, and the loser will be guaranteed that relegation spot, no matter what happens in any other games. As Marion Payne finds the net tape, trickles over, and here is the iconic, and I think it is now iconic, celebration from Durham that was brought in by, I believe, Nerea, where they do a nice little ace kind of, I want to call it like a chainsaw.
Yeah, I don't even know, but it's cool though.
Is it maybe one to add to your list of celebrations? I will say nothing beats the celebrations from Loughborough's women's side. Big shout out to Shiloh and a couple of the girls on that side that, as True blows us a lovely little kiss. Shout out to everyone at home. But yeah, the Loughborough girls were on fire. Really good celebrations. I know they've been choreographing quite a lot of that in their in their training sessions. Maybe not training as much as they should have been. But yeah, some really good celebrations, some really good fun stuff. That I know Loughborough put out a couple of great social posts from that week of kind of a couple of them doing some weird and wacky things. Bit of a miscommunication. Izzy Decker gets the ace from that miscommunication. Steve unable to claim that coach's point for the second time. Denied the substitution. Steve is a little bit too slow on that, almost getting Olga in. Another strong serve from Mariana. Yeah, big shout out to Leeds for sorting this out so quickly, as that substitution now does happen with Olga coming in for Charlotta. Olga, again, one of those kind of more slightly senior players. We call her a senior player, but maybe she's 22, 23.
Yeah, I think she's not old, there's no way.
Here she comes, opportunity to swing, nice little roll shot, Mariana picks it up. Out to Frost, no touch on the block. Point for Leeds. Natasha Frost just unable to find it over the net tape.
I think substitutions like that are really good to change like the rhythm of the server. Like they could clearly have like a target between the Libero, Holly and Charlotte, and I think bringing in a substitution just makes the servers like second guess or think like, are they still serving at the same person? And it's always helpful by the coach.
Yeah, as I've just double checked my notes, and Olga is 24. So yeah, one of the, as we mentioned, one of the slightly more senior players, but still incredibly young in her volleyball career, and really, like you said, a really great way to just kind of shift that momentum. This goes through the middle. There we go. Lovely little one from the girls there. Lovely middle attack.
Me and Fowler started volleyball at the same time, you know. Back in high school, we used to be on the same like mixed team, like in the Gorse games, and it's good to see her still playing volleyball.
Good serve. Oh,
Wow.
just over. Gambit and Lauren with the dump. Just catching Durham on their heels. Great thinking by Lauren there. It's one of those things that, and we saw it, and I know it was one of the things we looked at from opening weekend, and you probably remember it, that kind of reverse behind the back dump that went all the way out to the pin that just sent Essex completely the wrong direction, and everyone was cheering and shouting for it, and it was arguably one of the plays of the weekend. And again, it's great to see as Durham tried to return the favour. It's great to see that she's got the confidence to do that against such a big side like Durham. Frost with a big swing. Lauren gets there, great work. And just gets under it there. Yeah, Christina just getting under it there slightly, just not able to get over the top, wrap her hand over it and aim more for the back of the court. As Natasha Frost steps back to serve. Great pick up by Holly. Pipe attack. Great work there from Daniela. Lovely pipe attack there. Using that backcourt a little bit more. Is that something that's there come from that kind of pass off Holly there straight away where it gives Lauren a few more offensive options?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important to like use the back row attacks because obviously looking into professional volleyball in the highest level, like backcourt attacks are really, really common, and it seems like sometimes they're not as common in like this country, but the teams that do it are like the best ones, I'd say. Like they see more success from using the backcourt attacks.
Lauren goes to the dump again. Chloe onto it this time. Izzy Decker with the tip. Lauren up the middle, big block there. And just unable to get it over the net. Again, a really long rally there though. Still building that momentum for the Leeds side. A much closer set, with Durham just 10-6 ahead.
I think as well the club environment at Leeds helps a lot, because if you can see like in the back where the fans are sitting, like even though Leeds did lose the point, they're still clapping like they've won the point, and I think that's really good to keep the team like motivated, and the parents and the fans do a really good job at bringing that energy to help the players.
Yeah, I know that energy will be something you'll be hopefully using quite a lot in your game, trying to make it quite a loud, noisy environment, as Daniela just finds the net tape. Yeah, it's something that I know when we came here last year for the Super League Live as well, there was some really kind of great crowd engagement, had a lot of drums, had a lot of people sitting all around the side that made it almost like, not hostile in a bad way, but a very tense environment that was quite interesting for the I know it was the 2 women's games at that point. It was a very intense situation for all the players on court. Free ball from Durham. Thorne. Tasha Frost takes it. Daniela with a tip. Another long rally. Izzy Decker with a tip, left-handed. Durham assisting now. And there we go, able to find it through the middle with Mariana Payne. Again, we see it there from Durham where even if it's a scrambly, scrappy point, they're still able to somehow then, after the ball then comes back over to them, get in system, get a really strong pass in, give it to their setter, and just really kind of go off it from there.
You can see some clear like improvement with Leeds as well, because I've seen a few triple blocks, and I think that's another thing similar to like the back row attacks that not many teams tend to do, but being able to like do it well and execute a triple block is like a really, really important skill, especially when you're going against such powerful hitters like Durham.
As Steve McCune calls his second timeout of the set. What do you think? Obviously, you've worked with Steve a little bit in terms of just being part of the Gorse setup. What do you think he'll be saying at the moment to those players?
I think Steve does a really good job at the technical side of things. Like you can see him right now talking about like the passing, and he's always like helping the technical abilities, but also just making sure they stay confident in like themselves, because it's obviously a hard role as a coach when the team doesn't seem to like win, and like facing a demotion is not easy for a coach, but Steve does a really like good job at keeping the motivation high and making sure the players stay like confident in themselves the whole time.
Leeds straight back into it. Big swing and able to find just dribbling down the hands of Mariana Payne there onto her side of the net. So again, coach's point for Steve. That's 2 out of 3. That's a pretty good record.
Bet he's got many of them in his time, honestly.
Yeah, he's one of those coaches that, like you mentioned, is really technical, really analytical of looking at it. He's been in the game for quite a while. As an ace there, from, as you mentioned, one of your high school teammates back in the day. Targets and Frost out to Decker. Leeds in system, Daniela. Great pick up by Lauren there. And just called in, just tagging that baseline. Really good call in there from the referee. Right, I've got a question for you. Is a shoelace a tactical timeout that's not a timeout, or is it you just actually had full shoelaces coming undone?
I mean, it depends. I think in this case, Daniela's shoes are definitely undone. But there's definitely been, I think, someone that's great for it is Albert. You can see him all the way over there. like in under 18s as well. Like last season, he was so good for it. Just untying both his shoelaces, tying them both, takes at least a minute out of the game.
Yeah. All of a sudden forgets how to tie a shoelace.
Catches many teams off guard.
Yeah. Do you think that kind of helps though? That kind of, I know you like we were mentioning, big swing there from Chloe Thomas. I know we mentioned it a little bit there of kind of getting into players' heads, trying to shift that momentum. In junior games especially, is that something that you see a little bit more of, maybe coaches calling timeouts maybe a couple of points earlier than you'd expect in maybe Super League?
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing with like junior volleyball is that there's a lot less confidence, and like the mentality can be a bit more like weaker. So if the momentum does shift, like automatically you start overthinking things maybe. And I think the coaches and the players that can like manipulate that best are like the higher level teams for sure.
Middle attack, big pick up there from Hayes. Out to Chloe. Olga there, sent up. Big pick up from Izzy. Lauren, middle again.
Wow.
Great pickups from both sides here. Decker with the roll. Finding the hands. Yambi. Thomas. Another really great long rally. Hayes takes first ball, out of setting. And just wide from Decker there. So Leeds, really long, really intense rally and come out with the point, which is something maybe they weren't doing as much in the first set.
I think that whole rally as well was just a really good display of how much they have improved. And I think if Daniela was to do that swing, like perhaps in under 18s, then I don't imagine any Libro is like good enough to pick that up like this Libro is. And especially the triple block as well, like really helps. Forcing them to make the error like to help.
And line judge calls a touch for Leeds on the block. Deborah Smart looked a little bit confused, but trusts her line judge.
Roman, man.
One of your schoolmates?
No,
College
he
mates?
plays, I think he's under 16s.
Okay.
Yeah, too honest.
Do you find that sometimes a little bit of a benefit of being at home? You've got that kind of home line judge?
100%. I remember last year, I think all this last season was in Super League, like I was line judging. Good days, man, good days.
Yeah, obviously you've seen you've been part of it a little bit. Obviously you weren't as much involved in the first season, but last year you played quite a lot in Division 1.
Yeah.
How has that helped you now coming up into Super League? What's that step up like as Chloe Thomas finds the sideline at a ridiculous angle? And watch that again as Durham bring out some subs. But yeah, Josh, how's that helped you kind of going from Division 1 up to Super League, playing at every age level?
Yeah, the step up is massive, like between Division 1 and Super League. Like it's like, especially seeing as though the Super League have changed to Super 8, it's massive, like the difference between Division 1 and under 18s compared to Super League.
Great touch there from Leeds in the middle. Lauren out to Olga. Another touch from Durham. Thomas. Again. And we mentioned it a little bit in the start of the pre-game, and it's someone that we've kind of highlighted throughout the season, and it will be someone that we'll continue to highlight. When someone's hitting that ball that hard, is anyone digging it?
I mean, it's such a challenge. I think sometimes if there's like a free net like that, it's like if you're in the right place at the right time, you have a good chance. But yeah, it's so hard.
Just into the net there from the serving sub of, if her shirt number is visible, of Hannah Liverman. Leeds one more point than they had last set, as that just bit of miscommunication puts into the net. But momentum slightly more building for Leeds. They've won a few more points convincingly, not from errors of Durham or anything like that.
Yeah, there's been some more like great display of rallies in this game. So,
Thomas goes back to serve, another tough serve. Leeds just unable to pass that, dropping really quickly. You can see where Chloe's hitting that. It's just coming over the net tape and then drops super quick. As Durham give their little bit of a celebration again, waving at the camera. And Thomas unable to do the same, giving Leeds that 3 point. As Christina goes back to serve. That looping ball in. Hayes takes it. Thomas off the hands, just out of the reach of Holly there.
I think in this set, the setters used like Chloe Thomas more in this set, I feel like, because in the first set she wasn't quiet at all, but there was less sets going to her, and I think this like setter shows her off really well. She's got so much more points this set.
And Steve looking for the touch. Holly looking for the touch, goes over to speak to number 1 ref, Deborah Smart. Durham are walking off as if they've taken it, and they have taken that second set. Again, another really tough set for Leeds, but like we're mentioning, much more to be cheered about, many more points won, even just rallies going on for a little bit longer, trying to contain those offensive threats and forcing Durham and forcing them really hard to kind of do things that maybe they weren't expecting to be doing. Open. Or is it called the Northern Open this year?
Yeah, I think it's in Leeds maybe.
Okay, my bad. It's a busy calendar, I know. UKBT have brought out a few more events. They've got a couple more 4-stars. They've got a couple more in Scotland as well.
Yeah.
One over in Northern Ireland. How much are you looking forward to being back on the sand?
Yeah, it's going to be a really great season, I think. Playing indoor at this level has helped us deal with pressure a lot more, and helped us deal with versing players that are so much more stronger and taller than us, and I think that really helps the beach as well, because beach is like a game where it's like if it's your day, then you can beat not anyone, but obviously not like the Belarus and stuff, but if it's your day, you can
never know. You never know.
You do never know, but if it's your day, you can beat whoever really comes at you, and I think playing in Super League helps you a lot to deal with pressure that you can face when playing beach as well.
Yeah, I remember you and Max at the Bournemouth finals. You did actually play the Bellows.
Yeah.
How was that as an experience? I know you said you might not beat them, but you're obviously much younger than them. You've a little bit more inexperienced. They've been playing on the World Tour for kind of the last 5 or 6 years. How was that playing against them?
Yeah, I think whenever me and Max go against the highest level in the country, we always just try and go for it. We don't hold back at all, because I think there's nothing to lose really, because if we did beat them, then that would just be crazy, but then if we do good well against them, then that's also really, really good for us, and I think it's just important to just keep on going, and I think that's similar to how we play in Super League as well. We just keep going for it. We don't really give any easy balls. Every ball's most balls have a swing on the end of them, and
Yeah, no, you mentioned, you mentioned the UKBT there, but also for the first time this year, Volleyball England is hosting a Futures event as part of the Beach Pro Tour. As a beach player, how nice is it to see, as Durham take off that first point of the set into the third, how nice is it as a beach player to see the World Tour come into the British sands?
It's really amazing how it's I've only started playing beach recently. I say recently, but it's 3 years, 4 years I've been playing. And to already be able to watch in this country at a professional event, it's amazing how it's happening so fast.
Daniela with a tip, lovely tip over the block. Maybe changing that tactic slightly after maybe going for the hands and swinging off the hands, instead going for that tip over the quite tall block from Durham.
Yeah.
As Durham have brought in a range of players again for the third set, trying to get that squad rotation in a little bit. Bullimer's back into set. Chloe Thomas is still on with a tip, and just off the fingertips of Charlotta. Marina Payne still in middle, with Jefferson back in as well. And then Sarah Hall as well back in for the first, in for the first time this game. Thorne into the middle, big block. Danielle's got it though. Free ball from Tempest. Big swing, big pick up. Oh, Would have been a great, well, it was a great dig, but just catching the roof of the Gorse Academy. Is that something that you find annoying?
Yeah.
I know you sometimes, when you're passing a ball, ball's coming in at you hard, trying to get that cushioning on it.
Yeah, 100%. I think playing in Loughborough and like, well, back when Kettering was, like we used to play in Kettering, and the roof was so high, it was so nice to just go and just, like sometimes we used to just try, hit the roof, it was actually that high, we used to try, so yeah, it's really good. But I think there's a thing in there about the new rules, maybe that it doesn't affect if the ball hits the roof.
Yeah, I know there's talk of it for VNL this year, that
Yeah.
if it hits the roof and stays on the team side that's passed that ball into the roof, it's going to carry on. So very similar to the women's NCAA. I think that will add a great level to the game. Maybe
Yeah.
people won't use it tactically, because obviously if it's bouncing off a stadium roof, it's going to be tricky to pick up for that second ball. But I think it'll be interesting to see, and maybe kind of plays into the benefit of libero, where
Yeah,
if they've got, especially when you've got players like from opposite hitting really hard and they're trying to dig it. We saw it score quite a bit for the side out game and the Richmond game. People were hitting it hard, and I don't know, we probably had 10, 15 balls hit the roof, and maybe in a different venue, maybe at the University of Nottingham or at Essex, or like you mentioned at Loughborough, where that ceiling's a little bit higher, those balls would be dug perfectly, and maybe looking at kind of a 3-point pass. Just out, great to try and find that back line, but just missing it. As Tempest comes back in with Chloe Thomas to serve. You can really see from this backcourt how much those kind of float serves just wiggle in the air, isn't it? And no touch from Leeds. Jones just unable to find that backcourt. Again, keeping it tight. Leeds are only 2 points behind.
Yeah, I think this is something that Leeds do well. I remember they played Newcastle at home, like earlier in the season, and I remember the first set was quite, like they got beat pretty bad, but then by the third set, I think it could have even gone to like 26, 24 maybe, or I remember it was definitely a high scoring game.
As Thomas just able to break through that solo block. With Hall back to serve. Again, a player that's not really had much start time in Super League. I know he's part of the Bucks squad as well. But with a depth, as she gets an ace, which I'm sure will ignite the celebrations for Durham yet again. But with a squad depth like Durham, and I know Natasha has been playing for their second team in Bucks and things like that. Do you think it's quite hard sometimes, as Leeds just have a little bit of communication issue there on the seam? Do you think it's quite hard sometimes as a player to know that you're going to be on the bench for quite a lot of the season?
Yeah, I think it's always one of them things where I think it kind of depends on the person, because some people will like know they're on the bench and take that as a reason to not try, or like think, oh, I'm on the bench, I may as well just not like try my best. But then other teams and other like people think, oh, I'm on the bench, like I have to play my best and like I have to do my thing, which is really helpful, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something that I see a lot. You see it in kind of junior competitions as well, where you'll have players come down and maybe play 1 or 2 half sets or anything like that. But I think it also, like we mentioned right at the start, it is a team sport, and it's always about being ready, isn't it? For if your coach looks at you and points at you and says, right, you're on.
Yeah.
It's having that mentality to come in. I know that's maybe not something that happens with you as much at the moment, but maybe when you were in that kind of Division 1 team and that kind of Super League team prior to that, you were kind of maybe sitting on the bench a little bit, and it was that kind of moment of like, right, I've been called on, got to get in the game, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I'm really lucky to be able to play as much as I do. Like with under 18s, we don't have, I mean, we have other setters like Max could set or Dylan could set, but we don't have like another firm setter, which is really lucky for me, and I'm really like, yeah, I'm really lucky to be able to do the only one, which means I play like the entire time.
And a huge solo block there. We'll grab that, as Leeds on the bench loving that as well. Great block there from. Sadly, we didn't get the replay, but a great block there. You can see what it means to the Leeds side. And just out, so that's 2 points in a row. But yeah, Daniela getting an absolute roofing on Durham there. Paul Welsh yet to use a timeout, but Leeds now 3 points behind them. Do you think maybe if they win this point, maybe win another point, he'll start looking at the second ref? And
yeah, I think. Ooh.
A great ace there. Paul Welsh again looking a little bit, stepping. It's always one of those things where I always do it, especially when I'm working on these streams, of you kind of look at what the coach's body language is, and Paul's is very similar the whole game.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see it, maybe the kind of cogs turning. Maybe it was a good job we didn't call it there, into the net there from Charlotte, unluckily. But yeah, Paul's one of those people that will kind of stand just off behind that 3 metre line, hands behind his back most of the time, and just kind of nod and appreciate things happen. Who's the kind of most expressive coach you've played against? Is Pete up there?
Yeah, I think that I've played against. I think most like coaches, like the university coaches, are all quite similar. I mean, when we played Essex at home, I mean, Ewan Fraser's the coach, and he was obviously playing, so that was like quite funny to see the coach playing. But yeah, definitely, I think the coaches are all similar. But yeah, Pete's the best coach. Like for that, like his emotions are like his playing, and I think that's really helpful for like the people on the court, because it gives you like the motivation to keep on going. And if we're like down, he's also down but wants to like motivate us. And if we are like up and have a really good rally, you can always look over and see him like cheering. And, yeah.
I think it's quite a nice kind of setup you've got as well with Nelson. I know he was coaching the junior sides a little bit more last year than he is this year, but it's that kind of thing of, I view Pete and Nelson as kind of yin and yang. Nelson's that level-headed person that will kind of keep everyone nice and chilled and nice and kind of on the same level, and then Pete will kind of fire you up when it's kind of that crunch time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great swing there again from Daniela. Just wrong foot and true.
I mean, if you look in the top right, you can see Pete this whole game. He's been on the microphone. I think he's commentating down there.
Oh, we should have got him up here. Maybe we could have tag teamed it. But no, again, Pete working really hard on the beach with all those athletes as well. Obviously, working with you and Max. Just skims the net take from Lauren. Great serve. Jefferson into the net. Leeds bringing up 10 really early in this set. Seeing as in the first set they'd only scored 10. They're already here, still only just 2 points behind Durham. And like we mentioned, it is that kind of, it's getting into that game, and maybe it is that kind of bit more experience that they need to gain, and they have gained this year and will continue to grow. But I think it shows that as Lauren just goes for that short serve again, just finding the top of the net take rather than it rolling over like last time. But it's one of those things where they can now say they've played some of the best players in the league and the best players in the country.
Yeah.
And they can go into, whether they go off to university this year, whether they play in Division 1 or anything like that, that they can really, as a great, again, Daniela, really now working, really, once that pass is coming in, once she's getting set, it's working really nicely for her, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this is a big game for Daniela, because I'm pretty sure, like, after speaking to her, like, Durham was on, like, a university choices. I'm not sure which one, but I remember her telling me, like, she would want to go, and I think this is a really good, like, so far anyway, she's showed off really well what she could do. So.
And Holly just unable to chase that ball down. Yeah, I think Daniela is one of those players that, again, has been involved in the junior setup of England and is always one of those really clinical players that, but is also really level-headed, works really hard, and you can see that she's put in that work this year. And I think, yeah, whichever uni is able to get her this year, or for next season, is a really great asset and will only benefit that programme wherever she goes.
Yeah.
Charlotta into the net.
I think the whole, like, this season is going to really help everyone going towards unis, and because I think the, like, at Leeds and the boys and the girls team have something other teams don't have by having like a full season of Super League, like in their pocket, because other juniors, like, they they've got international experience and played in like Nevzers or Europeans and stuff, but none have actually played like full seasons starting in Super League, and I think that's something really great that we've been able to like get the chance to have.
Yeah, just while you're talking there, Josh, Ali Ruffin coming in as we just get it over the block again. See, I think that has been something maybe Steve on the sidelines has been saying, is that go for that tip rather than trying to swing off the hands, just going for those high hands. It's instead, let's try and work around that block, pushing it either side, maybe trying to go for a few wipes as well. And that has been winning Leeds points. But yeah, I agree. I think it does give those experiences to the younger athletes as well. And you see it across some of the other teams where University of Nottingham have worked really hard. For example, Rob Morgan has been playing now, and he's now in his third year at the University of Nottingham and won a Bucks Championships on Wednesday, but has been one of those athletes that's grown throughout that programme. And I think that's the great thing about how some universities do it, of bringing in players for 3, 4, maybe 5 years, depending on their course.
Yeah.
And they're able to do that. You see that with Essex. You see that with Daniel just unable to work on that pipe attack, but you see that with those universities that they bring in some postgrads, and the University of Nottingham do that as well. As Steve calls his second time out? Yeah. Second time out of the game, but you see that with Newcastle and Nottingham, they bring in postgrads.
Yeah.
You had people like Sam Peters last year. You've got the Kane brothers this year. You've got Kanai, but then you've also got the kind of George Eatons and people like that that you would have played against that are then going to be in that program for 3, maybe 4 years and will grow with Freddie and that team.
Yeah.
So you mentioned going to Leeds. Is then the idea you stay with Leeds Gorse for the next season?
I would hope to be able to do like a coaching course and help coach like some of the junior teams as well, alongside doing uni, and obviously staying around playing, being able to play beach as well. I think I'm unsure like 100%, but most likely that would be my first option.
Free ball from Leeds. Ruffin hand sets to the middle. Calls it out. Line judge calls it out as well. 13-17 with Leeds serving. Christine to go back to serve. Net roller. Girls love it. Little ace celebration of their own. It's always nice when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it rolls onto their side rather than yours.
So annoying though for Durham.
I'm sure they've had plenty this season that they would have also maybe kind of put that little hand up going, oh sorry, but you're never really sorry, are you?
No.
A point's a point as Durham get one back. With Hall going back to serve. Durham just 7 points away from that flawless regular season. Strong serve. Out to Charlotta. Goes for the roll. Ruffin to Bullimer. Hall in the pipe. Just again gets under it. Just goes wide.
I think there's players like that from Durham when it just comes down to having not gelled as much, because like they're obviously still like really new to each other, and just making little like miscommunications like that is just part of like being as a team together.
Yeah, I think as well, like we mentioned, as Ali Ruffin with a great cross court. I think we mentioned as well, like Hall's not played as much with the team. And a couple of the players that maybe haven't played as many sets, got as many reps in. Maybe that gelling hasn't worked as perfectly, but I still think it shows their calibre that they're
for sure
able to keep that momentum going. And we mentioned again, it's that mentality of next point, let's go again. That's a great drop in serve. With Durham bringing up 20. Daniela, another great swing, yeah. If she is thinking of going to Durham next year, that's something definitely Paul will be aware of and having a
Yeah.
look at? Yeah, I know you mentioned a little bit there about the beach as well at the start of this set. Are you kind of, what are your hopes for this season? Obviously you've got junior Nevza, senior Nevza. I know you played in both last year, and then you never know, maybe a little wild card into the futures.
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing to be able to get one, and I think just being able to take part in junior and senior Nevza again would be a really good opportunity. That, like, me and Max are going to be playing together as well, like this season again. And I think we're just aiming for.
Lauren goes to the dump.
We're just aiming for like the best we can. Like, we're just going to keep on pushing and keep on going for. Just try win as many tournaments, place as high as we can.
Yeah, Lauren went for that cheeky little behind back dump again that we mentioned a little bit about at opening weekend. Just trying to catch Durham out, but Durham quick to it. Daniela, big swing. Chloe keeps it up. Holly's calling for a lift, but they keep it going. Lauren's on the floor. It's over. It's still going. Rough in, hands. Just unable to keep it up by Christina. Holly's at the first ref calling a lift. It's always tricky when it's kind of coming down on that net. You've gone up for the block and then it's kind of coming into you. It's a weird motion, isn't it? You're trying to keep your hands into yourself so you're not hitting the net, but also you want that ball to go as high as possible so you're not putting it back into the net to make it even harder.
Yeah, it's a very like irrational decision as well, because you obviously the ball's coming through so fast you don't know how to react, so you just try to get it up as fast as you can.
Finds the hands. Bullimer bump set to Thomas. Thorne goes out to Daniela again. Durham find that block.
Yeah, that's a really well set block. Daniela didn't have many options through that.
And Durham bring up match point at 24-16 with Bullimer to serve. Leeds delaying it a little bit with the timeout, with Olga coming back in to that pass to the passing setup. Far back corner, Bullimer targeting Charlotta again. Lauren, that's Daniela. Great swing there from Daniela. And Payne seals the deal. That is 14 unbeaten for Durham. That is sadly relegation for Leeds down into Division 1 North, but a really spirited effort from the girls throughout the whole season. And I think, like we've mentioned throughout the whole season, we mentioned it on the podcast, we mentioned it at Super League Live, we mentioned it today, it's been a real great kind of development season for them, of working really hard to improve themselves as players. And I think it's also a really great sign of respect from all the other teams that no team's kind of taken it easy on them. No team is kind of maybe like an FA Cup style where a team will put out their second team or their kind of bench players, as you call them. They've actually been there and gone, right, we're going to put out our full squad. And you've seen that today with Durham, where you've still got Chloe Thomas, you've still got Ali Ruffin, you've still got their players that were playing in Bucks on Wednesday that are still trying to hit the ball as hard as they can, and they do continue to do.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful to get the full experience of playing in Super League, and being able to play against like the full first teams is a really like challenge, and I think it's going to really help like Leeds. It has really helped Leeds develop and become much better players.
Yeah, we're going to let Leeds and Durham just have their little team talks, and I'm going to let you shoot off in a minute, Josh. But firstly, a really big thank you for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yep.
Again, tough game for Leeds, we knew it would be, but like we've mentioned, it's been great for them, and I know that you've now got to get yourself headspace set. Got to lock in, come up against those Durham boys as well. Just the last couple of words from you. What do you think you've got in this game against Durham now that you think you can do?
I think like we've gelled a lot throughout the season as a team, and I think that's something maybe Durham might lack, like gelling together. And I think just that energy and our like skills we can put on today will like hopefully we can do enough to just manage to beat them. Really, I think we're just gonna go in it as relaxed as we can. Like there's no need to stress about it. We just need to play the best volleyball we can, and we'll show it after.
Yeah, well, good luck for that game, Josh, and thank you again for joining me in the booth.
Thank you. See you in a bit.
obviously going 14 unbeaten, and then
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
and we are joined today by our player of the match, Elena Bullimer. Firstly, congratulations on
you.
14 games unbeaten. How does that feel?
Feels great. I think it just shows how hard we worked all season long. We're super proud, but we also know we're not done yet, so we're super excited for the rest.
Yeah, 2 more games to go in Final Four. We don't yet know who you're playing. Could be a range of players from Side Out or MARREE. What do you do now as a team to kind of regroup? You've got a couple of weeks off, we've got an Easter break, and then you're straight into Final Four. How do you work as a team to kind of keep those reps going? We know we mentioned it a little bit at Side Out, but how do you keep going?
Well, right now we have 4 days off, which is super nice. I think we deserve it. We had a busy week, and then we just keep building. The good thing is that we're kind of off of university right now, so we can fully focus on volleyball. We keep practicing, and yeah, we just, I think, continue where we left off. I think it's like the hardest part. We want to make sure we're ready, and even though we have like a little break now, don't fall off at all. So just continue where we are right now.
Yeah, big week as well. You mentioned you've definitely deserved a rest of working really hard in Bucks. Winning that championship, you've still got the opportunity of a triple crown of Bucks, national championships, and then the National Cup. How have you kind of kept yourselves going? If you know now that this is the crunch season, what do you do to keep just working hard, but also preventing injuries? I know Ellie's been out, she's hurt herself. You've had Nona Rhea for the last couple of games as well. How do you kind of work as a team to benefit each other?
Well, I think that again comes back to like the depth of our roster. Everyone can jump in. We have 2 outsides or an opposite playing middle right now, and they're doing a phenomenal job. It's so much fun to like play with them, and I think just right now we're focused on also getting some time off of volleyball in between, you know, like spending time as a team. I think we have a great team dynamic already. I'm not worried about that at all, but just kind of continuing to like spend time as a team also apart from the court. But then once we step foot on the court again, I think just like reminding ourselves what we already achieved this season. And I think winning the first like tournament felt really great. That gave us another push as well. And we definitely want to reach for the triple crown. So full focus on that.
Yeah, because it could be Essex that you face in that final.
Yeah.
Essex, obviously, no one can catch you, so you know that it'll be any of those 3 below, any of those 4 below you. Is there a team that you kind of really want to play?
I think it would be fun to play Newcastle again. I think Essex, like throughout the last weeks, we played them a lot, you know. Obviously, it's always fun to play anyone, but I think Newcastle would be fun to just like switch it up a little bit, and then MARREE in the cup final. So that would be a cute little like just everybody, you know, and then just hopefully win them all. So yeah.
Yeah, and then just finally, you mentioned there a little bit about the kind of team mentality. Any new celebrations you can bring out? I know you're bringing out that kind of chainsaw ace, I want to call it. And
Yeah, I think we're just going to keep that a secret for now, and you guys can be happy to see it once we actually play the finals. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first. You've got to tune in for Final Four and
Yep.
Cup finals to see what celebrations Durham are going to bring out. Thank you very much for your time, and
Thank
congratulations on the
you.
game.
Thank you so much.
And that closes out the first game here at the Gorse Academy. We'll take about an hour or so break before the men come on, and then, as we mentioned, that is the decider. Whoever wins will go into that playoff against Richmond. Whoever loses is relegated down to Division 1. So tune in. I'll put the stream live about 2:10, and we'll be here on the Volleyball England YouTube channel. But thank you for joining me. I hope I didn't annoy you too much, and we'll see you soon.